Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here. We reached another milestone here on the podcast as our downloads have now exceeded 250,000. This does not count the listeners who stream the episodes from the homepage of SA Matters. If you add those numbers in, we're well over 300,000 downloads. Man, is that exciting. Hey, if you know a business that might want to get their message into the ears of my listeners by becoming a sponsor for this podcast show, just have them contact me. In addition to being mentioned on the episodes, which, by the way, stay here forever, so when they get mentioned on a particular episode forever, anyone who downloads that episode will hear them. I also like to show the sponsors love on my social media connections. During my world tour, I wore clothing items from my sponsor Midwest Fire and shared pictures of me wearing their garb in Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Does all this exposure help their business? It must. They've been my sponsor for more than 3 years running now. All right, I'm really excited also to announce that I have a new way for your department or your agency or your association to get trained on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making. This is by far the most affordable and convenient way to get your members trained on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making. I call it virtual training. I will work with your training staff to set up a live, via the internet, training session for your members on the date and time you regularly do your department training. So if, for example, your training is on Tuesday nights at 7 to 9 p.m., that's when we'll do the virtual training, including a live interaction with me with Q&A sessions. If your training's on Thursday mornings from 8 to 10, well, then that's when we'll schedule and do the training for you. You get the idea. I come to you virtually and train your members on situational awareness. If you want to learn more about the training opportunity of virtual training, just visit samatters.com and scroll down the home page, and the topics are listed in orange under the heading Virtual Training Programs. Honestly, it can't get any easier or affordable. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you get access to the playbacks for 60 days to train any of your members who might have missed the live training event. All right, that's enough of the pre-show stuff. Roll that podcast intro. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Division Chief Dan Cannisville from West Metro Fire Rescue, and you are listening to the SA Matters radio show with Dr. Rich Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello, and welcome to episode 187 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. Did you know I've been sharing the message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making in live program events for 12 years now and have trained over 62,000 students, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, aviation workers, and more. Really, this message is for anyone who works in environments that are high risk and high consequence. If you or someone you know could benefit from training on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making as a way to improve safety, ask them to reach out to me by visiting the samatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us tab. If you're new to the podcast and you're inspired to improve your safety, you've got some homework to do by going back and listening to past episodes. I've released a new episode of this podcast every Tuesday, never missed a week for almost 4 years now. No other podcast focused on improving safety even comes close to this track record. And I do it for you, the listeners. You, the listener of this show. You inspire me. And let me say this, I am here for the long run. And for so long as I'm able, I'll continue to share this message, a message of hope, a message of inspiration, and a message of encouragement for anyone who works in high-risk environments. I want to make sure that you know how to develop and maintain strong situational awareness and how to make quality high-risk decisions. I'm dedicated to improving your safety and your survival and to helping you accomplish the most important goal of all, to go home to the ones who love you. And speaking of sharing the message, in October I did a month-long Situational Awareness Matters World Tour, where I delivered 12 programs in 28 days. Program hosts included the New South Wales Fire Brigade in Sydney, Australia, the Metropolitan Fire Brigade in Melbourne, Australia, and the Institution of Fire Engineers in Perth, Australia. Then I went on to New Zealand and did a program for the New Zealand Fire Service in Christchurch, New Zealand, then a program for New Zealand Fire Service in Wellington, New Zealand, and then a program for the Institution of Fire Engineers in Auckland, New Zealand. Then I went on to Amsterdam and did a program for the Amsterdam Fire Brigade in the Netherlands and the Dutch Fire Academy in Arnhem, Netherlands. Then went on to Belgium, where I did a program for the Antwerp Fire Brigade in Antwerp, Belgium. And the last program was for the Belgian Federal Center of Expertise for Civil Security, and that was also in Antwerp. It was truly an amazing trip, and I learned so much, and I can't wait to build the lessons that I learned from those departments into my essay programs. But today, I'm coming to you from beautiful and sunny Clearwater Beach, Florida, where I'm in town to attend the IAFC Volunteer and Combination Officer Section Symposium in the Sun, and to award the Emerging Leader Scholarship. This is the 8th year I've sponsored the scholarship for an emerging leader to attend the VCOS Symposium. It's my way of paying it forward and giving back. And I would also like to acknowledge Scott Township Fire Chief Adam Farrar. Adam was the 2015 scholarship winner, and he stepped up, and he is personally paid or contributed $1,000 toward the scholarship. That's solid leadership, Chief Farrar, and thank you for setting an example. You might have heard me mention in September that I did a program in Evansville, Indiana, where the Evansville Fire Chief Mike Conley did an amazing job of getting sponsors. Well, he's at it again. Yep. He was able to do a program for his department that didn't cost him any money because he was able to get sponsors. He went out and secured sponsorships from Vectern, their gas and electric company, Deaconess Hospital, the University of Southern Indiana, Evansville Firefighters Credit Union, Old National Bank, Global Emergency Products, Hoosier Fire Equipment, Mission Barbecue, Public Safety Medical, Siegel's Uniform. When the dust settled, he'd raised $15,000. That paid for the program, a situational awareness book for all the attendees, paid for the venue, provided lunch for everyone. And because all of that didn't cost $15,000, he now has seed program for another program. So he scheduled a full week program with me in the end of January and a 2-day program in August. And he went back out to his sponsors and secured sponsorship for those programs as well. I tell departments all the time with limited budgets that this is the way to go, and it truly is. If you want to host a program, but you have limited resources, contact me, and I'll help you figure out how to do what Evansville did, host a program that might cost your department nothing. I always say where the will is strong, a way can be found. This training program on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making, it's a game changer. And how do I know that? Because the attendees of the live events tell me all the time. They tell me at break, they tell me at lunch, they tell me at the end of the day, they send me emails, they post it on their social media, how their view of the jobs that they do have changed as a result of attending the program. Understanding how to develop and maintain situational awareness can truly, and I mean truly, save your life. There's no simpler way to say it. One of the questions I get asked all the time by readers and listeners are, when are you coming to my area, or where are you going to be next? And it's a great question, and I've made it really easy to find out the answer. I created a link on the homepage of my website where all the upcoming events are listed. You just got to click on that blue box on the right side of the homepage that says Live Event Schedule, and everything will be listed there. If you're interested in hosting a program, I have a way you could do that by saving some money by hosting a companion program. Companions are programs that are held on adjoining days to other programs. So if you see I'm delivering a program within a few hours of where you're located and you're interested in being a companion, then contact me. You can save as much as 20% off the program cost by being a companion. I've done over 100 of these companion programs, and no one ever complains about saving money. That's what I call a true win-win scenario. In today's feature segment, I'm going to talk about standardized procedures used to guide emergency operations and how these procedures can be both helpful and harmful. All right, let's jump into our feature segment about SOPs and SOGs. I am a big advocate of an organization having standardized procedures to guide their operations as tools to help employees develop and maintain strong situational awareness. Some agencies have chosen to call these standard operating procedures. Others have chosen to call them standard operating guidelines. It really doesn't make much difference as far as I'm concerned what you choose to call them. The important thing is that you have a set of commonly understood standards that guide employee performance. Standards are especially beneficial in high-stress, high-consequence situations that some employees often find themselves in. However, the very standards that are written to keep employees safe can also contribute to catastrophic outcomes. Here's how. Oftentimes, employee training involves scenarios where workers learn how to perform to the scripted standards. On the surface, there's nothing wrong with that. However, the employee training scenarios are often developed to ensure the outcome of the training will be a success. And as many workers know, the complexity of many work issues can often require actions that are not consistent with the standards. In other words, workers must veer from the written standards and be resilient problem solvers. After employees receive a baseline of training, they should then be exposed to progressively complex scenarios, so they have to be creative in their problem solving. It is not possible for all possible scenarios to be covered by policies and procedures, so training employees on how to be resilient problem solvers is very important. If you do not train employees on how to make resilient decisions, you may be heading toward disaster because you're so focused on training for success. Perhaps we all know that we've learned more from the mistakes that we've made in life than the things that we've done right. And it is true. Our brains learn from failure, and it helps us to wire access to creative solutions we learn in training. If you want to learn more about this in a real-world environment, be sure to go back and listen to the two-part interview I conducted with members of the Colorado Springs Fire Department. They train recruit firefighters to be successful to established standards. Then they progressively challenge them with scenarios that do not fit the standard solutions, so these responders can learn how to become creative problem solvers. Those interviews are episode 181 and 182. Recently, I had an opportunity to have a discussion with students that were attending my flawed situational awareness program. And the way I described it to them is, if you take the same pathway to work every day, 3 lefts, 2 rights, 2 lefts, 3 rights, That is your standard procedure, your standard way of getting to work. And you can get good at it, and so good at it, you don't really even have to think about it. You just get in the car and automatically you drive to work. But then one day on your way to work, the road is closed. There's construction, there's an accident, and all of a sudden you have to resiliently find a new way to work. Those who are underprepared to be resilient may sit there and wait in traffic, or they may wait to follow someone else, or they may go around the roadblocks and continue to try to get through the accident scene or the construction site because they only know one way. When you have to turn your car around and go a different route that perhaps you have never gone before, you have to find a resilient solution to a problem. That is what we call learning. And then the next day, when you come up to that roadblock, you have learned a resilient solution, a new way, different from the standard, different from the norm, to find your way to work. Every time you chart a new pathway, you are practicing resilient problem solving. I have a favor to ask of you. Yep, you. You listening to this podcast right now. You, the one on the treadmill. You, the one that's driving your car. I'm even talking to you, the one that's walking your dog. Even you, the one falling asleep while you're listening to this episode. Wake up! I need you to do me a favor. I launched this podcast to give a voice to those who've experienced near-miss events. The stories that have been shared on this podcast have been amazing and very educational. In case you missed the previous episodes just a few weeks ago, go back and listen to the interview with the members of the St. Charles Fire Department. It truly is bone-chilling. We need to get more of these lessons shared with a larger audience. So if you've experienced or witnessed a near miss on the job and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, contact me by visiting the SA Matters website and clicking on the Contact Us tab. Think about it for a moment. The lessons learned from your on-the-job near miss could save someone else's life, and that's really powerful. What a wonderful gift that you could give to someone else, the gift of your experience. Contact me. If you want to send me feedback, I'd love to hear from you as well. Just go to the SA Matters website, click the Contact Us tab at the top of the homepage. That'll send me an email. You can also contact me on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. By the time this episode airs, I will have completed the tour stop here in Clearwater Beach, Florida, and I will have completed the second program at Phillips 66 Refinery in Billings, Montana, as well as a program for the Norfolk County Fire Chiefs Association in Massachusetts. If you want to join me at an upcoming SA Matters Tour Stop event, you can attend on December 5th the All Hazards Incident Management Team Association Conference in San Diego, December 7 and 8 in Niagara Falls, Ontario, December 9 and 10 in Woodstock, Ontario, December 11 in Canfield, Ohio, December 12 in Wintersville, Ohio, December 13 a daytime program in Elyria, Ohio, December 13 an evening program in Solon, Ohio, December 14, a daytime program in Twinsburg, Ohio, December 14, evening program in Solon, Ohio, and then December 15 and 16 back in Twinsburg, Ohio. And then I'll be taking a few weeks off for Christmas and enjoying some time with my family. Remember me talking about the companion programs earlier? You know, the thing you can do to save some money? That's what's happening there in Ontario and Ohio in December. Seriously, folks in those agencies combined are saving over $5,000. If you want to see the locations of all the upcoming SA Matters tour stops, just head over to the website, click on that blue box on the right side of the homepage. The schedule's always changing, so check back often. If you're interested in hosting an SA Matters tour stop event, I'm booking now for 2018. So if you think your company, agency, association, regional conference, state conference, or national conference might want to host a program, just reach me through the SA Matters website and click that Contact Me tab. I got a great staff. They'll make the whole process really easy for you. I promise. The last time that I was delivering programs in southwest Minnesota, I stopped by and visited my sponsor of this podcast, Midwest Fire. Midwest Fire is a fire truck manufacturing company that makes amazing all-poly-bodied fire apparatus, and it's changing the industry. If you've not checked them out yet, you need to. Just go to MidwestFire.com. That's MidwestFire.com. Anyhow, while I was there, I had a chance to sit down and talk to some of their employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Here I asked account executive Dalton Lingbeck about the various types of apparatus that Midwest Fire builds. Let's listen in. Okay, Dalton, tankers and tanker pumpers. That seems to be the game for Midwest Fire. I see, even as I'm here at the factory, I see a number of tankers and tanker pumpers. But do you build anything else? What is it, are you basically just a two-product company, or do you have other types of trucks that you're building for customers?
We do in fact build a lot of tankers and tanker pumpers. They are our bread and butter. We love building them, and they're a great product for us. But in fact, we do not only build tankers and tanker pumpers. We try and fill the whole department. So if anyone needs to replace their fleet, we can do it. We do a lot of roll pumpers. We're starting to do more and more of those. We don't really trend towards more of the major metropolitan cities with pumpers. We leave that up to the guys that have been doing it for a long time. We take care of our customer base, which are volunteer firefighters, rural firefighters, and we provide them with the rural pumpers. We also do quick attacks. We do a lot of rescue quick attacks, mini pumpers, not necessarily the PTO mini pumpers, but we do portable pumps on these things. So essentially it's a lot of rescue tools. It's on an F550. It's got a rescue-style body, but we call them quick attacks. And then finally, we do brush trucks. And brush trucks we love doing these because these things are one of the coolest trucks and coolest firefighting piece of equipment on the face of this earth. We've been doing a lot of those. We've started doing brush trucks around 2.5 years ago, and we have been building roughly 10 to 15 a year, and we're increasing that by the day. It's a really cool thing, and you'll be seeing a lot more Midwest Fire brush trucks in the future.
So if somebody wanted to see what these trucks look like, are there pictures on the website or a gallery, or is there someplace they can go to put their eyeballs on what we're talking about here?
Yeah, definitely. We have many areas where you can see the pictures. We have a Twitter account. We do a lot of delivery pictures and just pictures in general on our Facebook. That's a huge place for people to go see us. But the biggest part is our website. We do have a deliveries tab, and you can see all recent deliveries on our website from the day they were delivered all the way back to how many ever years ago.
Yeah, nice. So if you want to learn more about the types of apparatus that Midwest Fire is building, tankers, tanker pumpers, quick attack pumpers, brush trucks, rural apparatus, visit them at MidwestFire.com and see how they can help you. Thank you to Midwest Fire President Sarah Atchison and all your staff for your awesome commitment to improving the safety of first responders. I really appreciate your support of my mission. Hey, if you're not part of the SA Matters community of learners yet, what are you waiting on? There are over 50,000 people connected here with me through the newsletter, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, sharing ideas about how to improve situational awareness and how to make better decisions under stress, and how to train employees to be critical thinkers and resilient problem solvers. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, it's free. The newsletter contains featured content from the blog and the podcast each month, and special discounts on books and videos exclusively for the newsletter subscribers. It truly is the best way for us to stay in contact with each other. And there's a really easy way for you to join. Just go to your smartphone and text SA Matters to 22828. That's the letter S and the letter A and the word matters, all together, one word, SA Matters, to 22828. You can also click on that red join button on the home page as well. If you do the texting, you'll get a message back to me about accessing program handouts, and you can just consider that a bonus for signing up, and you get to see the handouts from the programs that I do. That'll give you an idea of the content that you would be learning if you attend a live event. If you want to get connected with me on Twitter, you can follow @RichGasaway on Twitter, and there's about 18,000 of you there between my two Twitter accounts, and thank you for that. And you can also get connected with me on LinkedIn. and you can search for Rich Gasaway on LinkedIn, and there are a little over 10,000 connected with me on LinkedIn, and thank you, the folks on LinkedIn, for joining me there. You can also watch my videos on the SA Matters TV YouTube channel. That's SA Matters TV, all one word, SA Matters TV on YouTube. Videos there have had just over 600,000 downloads, and I recently uploaded a video from the World Tour as well. You can also get connected on Facebook by liking the SA Matters page on Facebook. Well, that's it. Episode 187 is complete. Thank you to our awesome podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all the companies, agencies, and organizations that have hosted live events. Thank you to all those who attended the virtual training event held on National Situational Awareness Day on September 26th. And thank you to the more than 1,000 students enrolled in the SA Matters Online Academy. If you want to learn more about that, there's a link on the right side of the homepage for the Online Academy as well. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners of this podcast show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.